Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manjeet. I'm a DevOps engineer. This is our second video. In the first video we have created a build pipeline, and which as a result has given us an artifact in the Azure pipeline itself, Azure CI pipeline. And in this video we'll create a release pipeline in the continuation of a build pipeline, and the end result of this video would be we'll trigger a pipeline from here, or I can say from the scratch. If I can just commit anything in the Git, and it will automatically trigger a build pipeline. And we will also create a resource on the portal.azure.com, and that particular application, or I can say the artifact which build pipeline will produce, will automatically be deployed in the portal.azure.com on a top of a resource, which will be created by a release pipeline. So the guys who has missed the previous video, please do watch, because it's a continuation of the first video where we have created a build pipeline. So in the past video in build pipeline, we have picked up a GitHub project, which is here. We have used deb branch, where we have Azure pipelines. This is the same file which we have created here. If we can edit this particular build pipeline, we can say the same pipeline is here. Okay, yeah. So this pipeline is creating a build. Where it is creating? It is creating here. You can see up one artifact published. So now as a next step, we'll pick up this particular build artifact and use in our release pipeline. So let's go to the releases, new pipeline. Okay, so it is asking for a stage. For example, before that, we'll quickly understand this, what is an artifact. So as soon as you will click on the releases, it will create a new release pipeline. You can give any name, for example, release 1. Okay, so it is asking initially, where is your artifact? For example, I need to select an artifact which has been produced by my build pipeline. So it automatically detects how many projects I have. For example, you can see here a project, it's a mandatory one. I am going to pick up my artifact from the first demo, because what's the name of our pipeline is a first demo, and the name of the project is also first demo. So I'm going to pick up the project name as a first demo, and which is the source Manjeet Chauhan 211. As you can say, the name of our pipeline is a first demo. Which version wants to pick up? The latest one. And source analysis, like, can be anything. You can just click on add here, and it is now triggered. Oh, sorry, it is now selected as a artifact from my Manjeet first demo pipeline. What as a stage you want to add here? For example, new stage. So there are different templates which Azure is giving us by default. What I'm going to select here is a Azure app service deployment. It's a generic one, guys. Like you can see in a description, deploy your application to Azure app service. Choose from a web app on a Windows or a Linux or a containers. It's a generic one. So go ahead and do a apply here. Okay, stage name can be anything. For example, QA stage. Okay, and it's QA stage. But now it has been mentioned as a stage. The source of the artifact has been given, but where it is going to deploy actually as a part of QA stage, because QA means like a tester is going to perform some testing on top of our application, but that needs an environment, that needs a server or a container, whatever, but from where it is going to pick it. So we'll add here. You can see as a run on a agent, as a deploy Azure app service. So I'll click on it, resource man. So here it is asking for a subscription. your subscription of portal.azure.com. So here we need to give a path to our exactly resources which we are going to create now on portal.azure.com. Let's quickly go to portal.azure.com. So I have created a subscription. You can see it. I'm going to create a resource which I'm going to use in our release pipeline for the deployment. So I'm going to use here as a resource as a web app here, because what I'm going to deploy is a web app here as a resource. You can see it's a free trial subscription. A resource group, if you want to create a new one, you will happy to do that. Create new, and then it will get a new one. I have RG1 resource group 1 already existing one. So what's the name of my web app? For example, first demo I'm going to give here. Okay, the name is not available. First demo demos, for example. Okay, first demos start Azure websites.net. It's not a Docker container, it's a code. What's the runtime stack I need? I need a for example Java 11. Okay, and I need a Linux, and a Java web server I need a Tomcat. Yeah, and it's a central US. You can find a region, or I can choose a UK one here because I'm in the UK. So whatever the region closest to you guys, you can quickly choose that particular region, or it's a plan what we want to first plan. Okay, review and create. So these are all the options I have selected as a part of free trial. It's called resource group 1. Name of the instances it is saying, but it's a URL, guys. When this particular resource will be created, I'm going to hit this particular URL and it should be up and fine. And after that, on the top of that, I will just deploy my application. It's not a Docker one. Java 11, Tomcat 9, Linux, UK South, first plan, and review and create. Completed, and we'll just quickly go to the resource, first demos, and it will give us a URL. Here is a URL. I'll just up and run it. Take a couple of minutes to be up, and then you can wait for a couple of minutes to be up, and it will definitely give you this particular URL and give you a response. Make sure you have selected a Java Internet Tomcat 9 if you want to deploy this type of application. So I'll just quickly go to our releases, and this is a part of QA stage which we have created. Just go to QA stage and then select your subscription as a free trial from here. So first time it will ask you for the authorization. Click on authorize. Click on your email. And it will ask you for the authentication. I'll have a Microsoft Authenticator app, so I'll just quickly authenticate it. Let me approve from my cell phone. I've just approved it, and hopefully, yeah, it's connecting now. So you can see it should give us a green sign as a successful authentication. Yeah, so it's authenticated. What's the app type? Next step is a web app on Linux. What's the app service name? It's a first demo. This is the app service. Any startup command, nothing. Just save it from this particular button by default. Okay, nothing needs to check, and I just create release. QA stage, great. Description, anything if you want to do, it's up to you. Now I'll just quickly go to the pipeline. You can see release a particular stage has been configured, and if you want to be as a continuation CI/CD guys, so here is a sign of an artifact. For example, continuous deployment trigger. As soon as there will be a latest artifact in this particular pipeline, build pipeline, it will automatically sense. As of now it is disabled. I'm going to enable it so that as soon as the build is will be available in the artifact, it should automatically pick up that particular war file and should deploy it in our Azure resource portal.azure.com should be here. So after once it will be deployed, so we'll be try to access it. So I just enabled it and it should be good to trigger. Oh, let me just save it. Any comments if you want to give? So I'll just enabled it. You can see the sign is here in the pipelines. Then I'll go to build first demo. I'll just edit it because as soon as I'm going to commit something in our Azure repo, it should automatically trigger my build pipeline as well. So I'll just go to web app, just changing a normal text, GSP. Welcome to the first video. Before that, I will just you can say trigger dev. This means whenever I am going to make any changes in the dev branch, my pipeline should automatically trigger. So I think nothing to be changed. It is having a trigger main here. So I'm going to change it trigger dev. So it's a change. So I have asking this particular YAML, if there is a change in the dev branch, the pipeline should automatically trigger. So let me just save it and we'll see if it is triggering this particular build pipeline automatically. Let me just refresh it. The change should be here. Yep, it's a dev. And now let me just go to the build pipelines. If it is triggered it automatically, you can see the pipeline just now has been triggered. What's the change and how it has triggered? If I can just click on this ID, it's asking me like it has been changed from main to dev. That's why it is triggered this pipeline automatically. So let me go to job quickly. What it is doing: initializing job, checkout from my repository, building using Maven, copying files, publishing the artifacts, post job notifications, and it's done. Yeah, this artifact. Why it got failed? So release 1 we have given it by default. When we have created a release 2, it has triggered automatically, but it got failed. Now we are going to understand why this mistake happened and how to fix it. For example, release 2, what is saying QA stage failed. One thing is clear, it has automatically triggered our release, but what's the cause of failure? Cause of failure is the no package found with specified pattern .zip. By default it is picking or it is looking for some zip file, but in our case we are producing a war file. How we are going to fix it and where we have to mention this particular thing? Edit pipeline QA stage Azure. It's a QA stage which is just 4 or 5 parameters, but below deploy Azure app service, click on it and we can see in the down it's picking up a form of default working directory, but instead of zip we just give a var here. What's the stack name? Anything you want to give, like node and something like that, but we have created a web app resource on a portal.azure.com, so in this case we don't have to give any runtime stack here. So just save it from here and we'll now intentionally make a change from the GitHub and we'll see if it is triggering all the things all the way to dev.azure.com to portal.azure.com. Let me edit it. Version 1 commit. See, in the pipelines it has triggered it just now. Clicked on it. We'll see how it's going. Click on the job. It's just triggered now. It's now it's triggered automatically, downloading the artifact and deploying Azure App Service. You can see. We can also see the logs, what's happening. So we'll see if it is completed successfully, and then we'll try to access it. See guys, it has completed successfully, but now we'll be able to see, or you can see logs are here, the deployment has been succeeded, and we can just see the logs, how many steps and what it has exactly done on our portal.azure.com. Initializing the job, downloading the artifact, deploy app service, and finalizing the job. This was the main one, how it is exactly happened. So this is the URL, first demos.azure websites, which we have configured, and this the pipeline has deployed our application on this particular URL. So let me just access it by just giving a path, web app. You can see it came up. Welcome to our first video, version 1, learn QA automation and all. Whatever the content we have here in web app, source index.jsp. Now I can just quickly make a change, and I'm not going to look at the pipelines and all. It should come automatically as a version 2 here, and let me quickly make a change, and we'll go to the flow, entire flow once again, version 2, yeah, or 2.0. I'll just quickly commit the changes, yeah, and we'll go to the pipelines. It has triggered it automatically just now. Click on it, we'll see it's running. Click on job, Azure pipeline. So this is the flow. I'm doing nothing. It's automatically sensing there is something new in the GitHub, and it is triggering it automatically. And these are all the steps which we have configured. Okay, it's done automatically, and I'll just click on it, edit it. I'll just going to give you an overview why it is happening, because we have make a trigger dev, and where we are making changes in dev branch. That's why it is triggering this pipeline automatically, and we are now configured in a release as a part of release pipeline. It's triggered it. Continuous deployment. Whenever there is a new build in first demo project and in a first demo build pipeline, and when there is a new artifact, it should trigger this release automatically. And in the releases, you can see release 5 has been triggered automatically, and it has completed successfully. And if I am going to refresh this page, it is going to show me release version 2.0. So this is a end-to-end flow. In our upcoming video, we'll try to use the Docker files. We'll trying to connect with the Docker Hub. We'll with the help of Docker file, we'll just publish our Docker image to the Docker Hub, and then we'll use that Docker image for our deployment, for our pipeline. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye.